All right, so we're back with our character here, and what I want to do before we get to rendering this guy and setting up our camera some more, um, what I want to do is make this guy look like he is not just floating out in space, but has some sort of pedestal or stand or something that kind of grounds him a little bit, rather than him just kind of floating around. So to do that, this object right here is basically just two flattened down cubes and a simple cylinder. So, and they're grouped together. So an easy way to do that, and I just renamed it pedestal right over here. I'm going to take this guy out, or actually I'll just hide him. And what I'm going to do is start from scratch. And I'll start with a little cube right here. And you don't have to copy exactly how mine is, but it's just, a simple option to help you out. I like to do this with a front view as well so I can see exactly the placement of my object. So I'm going to set it down here and I'm going to widen that up, scale it down, and I'm going to copy it. If you remember how to clone something, you can shift and pull up on one of those arrows. And I'm looking at the front view to also make sure that it's lined up there. I'm going to do a little rotate on it. And if you hold J, if you remember that, that will help it snap into direct angles. And then I'm going to, this is just an example for mine. I'm going to scale this down as well. In this, so it's about matches the bottom one. Something like that. Simple, easy thing to do. Now, I'm going to add in this, which is the stem. That's going to kind of move it upwards. Something like that. And I don't really have to be too specific with how far inside it's going in there. It looks like it's holding him up, so that's good enough for me. Now, what I can do, I have these three objects, made a simple pedestal for him. You can get as fancy or make it as simple as you want. Just make sure it doesn't take away from the work that you put up here. So now what I want to do, because I want to apply the same material to all of these things, I'm going to group them together. So I'm going to shift select them all. I say group them. I'm actually going to I've selected them all. I'm holding down shift and I'm going to right click and move down to combine. So now I've combined them all into one thing, and I can name that one thing right here. This is my second pedestal, so I'm just going to call this pedestal. Did I spell that right? I don't even know. I guess not. Pedestal 2. All right. So now it's pedestal 2, and looks pretty good. I like the way that turned out. Make sure that your cylinder is not shooting through some other part of your character's head. And now I'm going to apply material to it because I want it to kind of have some effect with the lighting as well in the scene. And I'll have to double check that and make sure that it also, oops, I don't want to move that around. I want to make sure that it also has kind of a good, I guess, it reacts well to the light. And just keep it simple. If you hear my computer acting up, it's because it doesn't like all the things that I'm trying. I'm going to assign a new material to it, and that should bring up this little window here. And I'm going to select just a standard surface and kind of a darker gray color somewhere in there. And I'm going to do a render of this. I want to change my view over here. I'm going to make this perspective as well. Except on this one, actually, I'll try click on render right here and try Arnold. See what happens. And so I can see some good shadows here. I can see how that lighting is reacting with the material on the pedestal. And so as you change this over here, if I make it super light, you'll see the changes happen there. don't get too crazy with it. If you do something like that, it starts to take attention away from your character that you're making. So keep it kind of simple, even something close to black even. But it still has like a reaction with the light, which is good. So that's pretty much it. Just creating a simple little pedestal, some sort of stand for your character. Pretty common to see characters like that when they're being shown in a portfolio. And so that is pretty much it for this step.